Melbourne Musos live. Whew! How you going? I thought I'd do that. In order to talk about tonight, I'm being a little bit technical. I'm glad I'm not doing a tribute. And I'm glad everyone's alive, going from the last month. And what it is I'd like to get back to a little bit of what the show's about, is spreading the love of technique on the drums. I don't even know if that was funny. But anyway, there you go. What it is I have a little thing that I often rip out called the long line, which is a single stroke roll. Got my mallets. I've got some, what have I got today? The Asian kit. Keep it nice and even. No accents, just straight. Then, you've got a little thing called delineation. Okay. How are you going to frame that? That's just a long line. Not even a rhythm yet. You have to put in emphases, accents. Whatever it needs to be, you see. Now what happens if I keep that going for a little bit? I'm going to show you something about really, literally numbers, okay? Now what I'm going to do is show you a little bit of an illusion, so to speak, okay? Now this is a bit minimalistic, I suppose, in the style of classical music a la Philip Glass, who's in the papers at the moment because he's pulled his symphony for reasons that we all know just by turning on the news, and he's in the news at the moment. Minimalism. We used to call it, when he first came out, tututiti. It was like tututiti, tututiti, wow, 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 tututiti, 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 tututiti. Anyway, there you go. But anyway, there you go. So what happens? I'll get on the horse here. Single stroke roll. Medium, not too fast, even, hopefully, keeping it even. Now, I'm going to use my double pedals here, that you can see down in boot camp, and I'm just going to do what I'm going to call ones. There it is. One tap, one delineation. Two. See? Threes. Oh, missed one. Do you see how it changes the rhythm? Four. You'd think, oh, they're semiquavers. You'd be right. Five. Six. Seven. Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida. 8. And 9. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3. 10. Get it? Got it?
Get it? Got it.
There it is there. Now, what was going on? There was delineation, you see, because if I was doing, let's do something a bit different. Fives. Reminds me of a bit of Frank Zappa. Weasels rip my flesh. Dunk, 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 dunk. Goes. And what happens is you're delineating the beat, you see, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could do 11, 12, 13 and whatever, but I think you get the point. And so what happens is we have delineation because you're delineating the beat. You could have just the long line, take a long line, reel it in. angels, around about 1979, I think. There it is there. I digress. So what happens is that you could just have that. But then you need a little bit of coordination to be able to delineate the beat. Now this is where we get to odds and evens, rights and lefts. So now I'm going to split those numbers up. Okay. Now this is odds and evens. Okay, as simple as that. Odds 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Evens 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. Now what happens if you're doing evens? You're going to, if you start a single stroke roll with your right hand, it's going to stay on the right hand. Okay, so 2s. Actually, I'll keep the same beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 4. So you're always on the right hand. 6. 8. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 and 2. Get it? Got it? I've seemed to have resurrected that little one-liner or whatever. Anyway, there you go. Now, when you're doing odds, it becomes right then to left. In the simplest of ways, one of the things when you want to start out, I've got it in my first book, preliminary grade, I don't know, plug, and shameless. And what it is it's just one note for, double kick comes in handy if you're going a bit quicker. Not in preliminary though, just going to go. And with the little poppets, sometimes with coordination, it can be like right foot with left hand. Too hard! Whatever it is. And you just work it through, right? Double stroke, paradiddle, ooh, harder than you think. Give it a try, you'll be surprised. And there you go. And then, so there's one-on-one, and it's odds. Right to left, to right to left. 3s, right, left, very straightforward. See? So, 5s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hippopotamus, hippopotamus. 7, Gina Lala, Brigida, Gina Lala, Brigida, right, left. 9, you could have 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1. Get it? There you go. Now what starts to happen is that when you've got that, you start to be able to delineate the beat, chop it up. Now when I talk about delineation, that's a bit of a confusing word for some. I've often had to explain the meaning of it to my younger students, and I think of it like your Vegemite jars, okay, in the shops, okay. You've got a small jar, you've got the medium jar, you've got a larger, then the family size jumbo jar, the kind of thing. But it all comes out of the same big vat of Vegemite, and what happens is you're delineating the Vegemite. Oh. So what goes on? Okay, sober. There's a 5 again. Now I'm working with the, turning it into different things simply because of, number one, the little patches. Okay, there you go. Dinner bell. Dinner's ready. And what happens then is by just changing the sounds, what you've got is the start of a rhythm of some kind, okay? Now, when you're dealing with some of the odd numbers, like 5s, 7s and 9s, people go, what's going on there? Well, it depends on where you are, okay? Because 5s and 7s are the staple of Eastern European music, whether it be Greek beats, Macedonian beats, Bulgarian wedding rhythms, all sorts of things, because it's linked with the dance, the dances that they do. If you see the dancers with their feet, you see a little kick for the 3 and a little step for the 2. You know, that kind of thing. There you are. It's depending on where you are. So what happens is that when you're delineating the beat, what it is you're chopping it into the thing. So if you've got the long line, single stroke roll, what's it going to be? At the moment, that could be anything, right? That's a blank canvas, really. And then what starts to happen is that depending on where you put the delineation, you can then have 3s, 5s, 7s, 2, 4s, 6, 8s, depending on what you want, you see. So if you're just going to do a normal 4, there it is, straightforward. Think of that any way you want. 1 Iana, 2 Iana, 3 Iana, 4 Iana, 1 Iana, 2 Iana, 3 Iana, 4 Iana. And then you work within it. Hui! There it is, you see. That's something fairly straightforward. Hopefully it's a bit of a groove and all that. And you can do the same thing with any of them. If you're going to do, say, 3s, you can think of them as a 6/8, a 12/8. You could count them as triplets. So it could be 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a... Do the same thing. Ooh, a bit stinkerpated towards the end there. Anytime I do this with mallets, I think of the dear old Balron, or as it's spelt, Bodran. And there it is there. You got some masters of it over in dear old Ireland. And there you have it. So if you're doing things like that, they're usually thinking of it like an Irish jig. So you'd be thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 8, you see. You have to be careful sometimes, because what happens is that triplets and compound time, depending on who's counting what, they can be triplets, no worries. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. But you'd have someone in that kind of feeling probably play it as 12/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. If you can rip it out. Lips. Do your duty. Or it could be 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. There you go. Usually 6/8 when you're doing any kind of Celtic music. Take that on, because then it could be, they're just triplets, aren't they? Yes, they are. You're right. But how's the rest of the band counting them? Okay, so, and what happens if you see it and it's in disguise with the sheet music, with the good old school band or something like that? And people get horribly confused when it's written out in a way that they're not accustomed to. You could be used to triplets and all that, and then all of a sudden there's this thing called a slip jig, and it's 9/8. I can't play in 9/8. Yes, you can. It's just, think of it like a waltz, but with triplets. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Nines. You're playing 9 notes. 1 and a 2 and a 3. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a Rocky Road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember that old tune? I love that song. It's one of my favourite Celtic ones. It's called a slip jig, because you do a little slip. So it's 3 pulses of 3. 3 3s are 9. There you go. Hey, you're delineating, you see. So that, to recap, is your blank canvas, a straight out lesson number 1 ever single stroke roll. Then you delineate, and all of a sudden you're playing fancy things, you're doing all sorts of stuff, and what happens is that all of a sudden you can get 4 5. Little tag. There it is. Get the idea? You with me? Good. Okay. I'm doing all right. Having a look at the time, see how much time we've got left. So that's what we've got. Let me recap just a little bit. And then I'll go into a little bit more technique and explain what I was sort of doing there. What happens is when you've got that blank canvas, so to speak, what it is you're delineating. What is it going to be? Now this is the basis of rhythm in itself, you see. So whatever you delineate this pulse, this single stroke roll, lesson 1 ever, this is a single stroke roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you know, whatever it is. What are you going to count? Now, if you're doing ones, double kick, not in the first lesson ever, that kind of thing, but it'd be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, you know, that kind of thing. Twos, that could be construed as a cut time. Roll out the barrel, roll out the barrel, cut time, you see. And as soon as it goes to threes, accent the backbeat. Fours. Basis of so many things. That's why they call it common time. 4/4. You see 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Then your fives. Oh, any Zappa fan. Oh, every second song. It's part of Frank Zappa's language. Is the fives and the sevens, is the king of polyrhythmic playing. And there you go. And as I said a little bit earlier in the show, is the fact that if you go to different countries, especially Eastern Europe, you're going to have fives and sevens everywhere. Okay, 'cause it's part of the culture, built into the culture. And there it is. It's wonderful. And then, of course, you've got when you're doing sixes, sevens, eights, all nines, slip jig, aforementioned slip jig is in 9. And there you go. You're off, you see, and that's what goes on. Now, one of the things about it is that when you're delineating, you're putting in an accent, right? No accents. As soon as I do, rim shot, but it could be something, just a pulse. All of a sudden there's something there you can work with. Now, with accents, I always say to my students, I tend to work in thirds. The accent could be 9, okay, 1 to 10, could be 9 or whatever, and the normal notes are a third of that, so 3. But if you're playing a little bit lighter, it could be thirds again, but it could be 6 and 2 as far as a volume level. So, and it could be as low as 3 and 1. You try and aim for like the volume control like on your phone, you know, that kind of stuff. And then there's something else that I talk to my students about. I call it a natural accent, is when you're not actually putting any notes in that are louder, you're just changing the surface, we're changing the sound. So if I'm just doing this, what I started the show with, just straight, the long line, and just change to floor tom. I'm not doing anything different. I'm not making it. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just doing it evenly. And then when you're getting into odds, doing. At the end of the day, it's still that. I've got the fives. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All of a sudden you got something, but I'm still just doing that at the end of the day. Layer 1. So you're layering, you see, you're layering the beat, you see. So that's what goes on. Now when you're playing it, you can start putting in little doubles. Now, this is the second rudiment you would learn in any initial drum lesson. Young Sonny Jimbo, you got 3 rudiments: single stroke roll, double stroke roll, single paradiddle. Here they are, play them. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I remember that. I remember my first lesson. I think I just did that ad verbatim. I think that's straight up. I'll be back in a few minutes. You work on that. I'll be back. So what you've got is that. And then you try your double stroke. So you try that. We're starting to do the twist and it goes like this. Okay, there it is. But what happens is, as you build up your double stroke roll, instead of 2 separate taps, which is fine, it's just part 1, you start to get the double tap happening. And this is what you hear in very rudimental areas and things like this, where you might have a single stroke roll, double, single, double. So what you can do then is you could have something. That was a bit rough, but anyway, there you go. If I do the natural accent. Sevens. You see? That's what goes on. Rolling shuffle is this. This time I'm playing to win. Get it? Oh! Now that's a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I'm treating it like, well, a bowed-on, more Celtic. I hope it's... And there it is there. And then... bringing in the doubles. All of this from here. I should start recapping the show a little bit. Yes. Get at the idea? So what I've done is delineation. Long line. My name is Chris Quinlan. Delineation, the long line, odds and evens, rights and lefts. And now for a nice glass of...